Right, welcome to my channel, guys. And if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back to my channel. I'll just get straight into it actually. This is a story time about how my date stood me up, like literally. I was standing around just waiting for him and it didn't show up, guys. Yeah, so just a bit of backstory. So I met this guy in the car. Yeah, guys, you didn't hear it wrong. I met him in a random car one night. Actually, two of my friends and I were stranded after attending an event. There was no transportation whatsoever, as there had been like a lot of people at the event and all the taxis were fully booked and busy. So we hadn't actually really thought about how to get back. Um, we took a taxi to the event. We just thought we'll just take a taxi back. We didn't actually factor in the fact that there would be a lot of people at the event, so we should probably have made alternative arrangements. But hey, we were young, we were dumb ish, ish. So not entirely dumb, but dumbish. But anyways, so the event finished super late. It was getting really darker. It was dark before, but it was getting darker while we were waiting, and there just seemed to be no way to get back to the university. So I forgot to actually add that I was still in uni then. So I lived in the uni halls. So we couldn't walk to the uni halls because it was miles away. So there just didn't seem to be any way to get home. To be honest, we were like high key panicking. That part of town does not have the best reputation, and like I said, it was getting like darker by the minute. Anyways, so while we're still waiting and obviously panicking, thinking about how to get home, a car actually stopped and the driver's hand waved at us. I know. So the driver was actually beckoning us over. Also, it didn't look like a taxi. We could see that there were other people in the car, so it was kind of dodgy, but I mean, we looked at each other and we're like, just F it, let's go, forget stranger danger. We're like really desperate at this point. We just need to get home. So we went to the car. It wasn't super late. It was really dark in. There was a bit of light, but it was dark. But we could see that there were four guys in the car. So it was the driver, then there's one guy in the passenger seat, and then two guys at the back. So they asked if they could drop us off because they were aware of the transportation situation. We didn't even hesitate. I mean, like I said, we were really panicking about staying there for too long and everything else. And at that point, it didn't look like the transportation thing was going to be sorted out. So we just got in. So I sat in front with the guy, that's in the guy in the passenger seat, and two of my friends, my two friends, got in at the back with the other two guys. I know, yeah, I know. It was a really dumb thing to do at the time, and like I said, we were dumb-ish. We didn't know those guys from Adam. No one knew where we were, but we decided to get in because the alternative was just standing there in the dark and the cold, and who knows what else. Would I do this again today? Definitely not. As a nah, 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 it's not gonna happen. But like I said, that was the only thing we could do, or so we thought anyway. So, anyways, we got in, and we're just making small talk, blah blah blah. And I noticed that the guy beside me, let's just call him Eric. Eric was not bad looking at all. Like he also looks like he'd been checking me out as well. And so soon we're actually just having a conversation away from the rest of the other guys in the car, just me and him, and we're really getting on really really well. Just talking about playing school and everything else. He was in another university as well, in the same um city. So yeah, by the time they dropped us off at the halls, we had exchanged numbers, Eric and I. So the next few days, it was just like, getting to know each other better. Where you from and all the rest of the things. Like he would send me messages in the morning, good morning, beautiful, and all of that and all of that. And yeah, so just like I said, getting to know each other. And just within a few days, he actually asked me out. He wanted me to come meet him at the mall in the city center and all of that. I was really excited. I mean, obviously, as you are. Um, and so yeah, I was just preparing for that. It was going to be on a Saturday. Um, and that was really cool. We had met each other on the Saturday before, so it was just like a week after then. But what I just noticed was like on the Friday, so the day before we actually went for the date, I noticed that he um all right, so we were excited and everything else. I noticed that he actually mentioned that I should send him a picture of myself because according to him, it had been like quite dark in the car the on the day we met. And so he hadn't actually got to see what I really looked like. Well, I mean, I thought nothing about that. I wasn't catfishing or anything. So I just thought, well, yeah, I'll just send him the picture. So I sent him one of my best pictures, as you do. um, and that was that. So as soon as I sent that to him, I just noticed like there was silence because we had actually been texting, like actively texting, prior to me sending the picture. So I was like, oh yeah, so did you get it? I mean, obviously he got it because it did show that he had read the message and everything else. I just kept saying hello, 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 and there was really nothing. And then when he did actually eventually reply, minutes later, he said he had actually went to get something, so he was sorry and everything else. So just I thought nothing about it. I just thought nothing of it. I just didn't register. I was like, yeah, that's fine. So yeah, so the next day comes, I'm really excited. I'm like really, really like excited. I'm really nervous as well because obviously this was basically like meeting him for the first time. It was a date. I mean, so you do get nervous. So it was just a normal nervousness, and yeah, so I just he messaged me later than usual that day. I mean, that day was kind of really weird. I mean, the energy was kind of off, but I just thought nothing about it. I was just like, yeah, it's a Saturday. Maybe he's just busier than usual, but he did message me just to confirm the date and everything else. And yeah, and that was fine. So when it was time, I messaged him. Obviously, I was leaving for the mall. Hey, hi, leaving for the mall. I got to the mall at the time that we set, and this was in the afternoon. So I got to the mall at that time, and I was just waiting for him. And the last message he sent me was that he was on his way, guys. Yeah, I was standing around just waiting, and 20 minutes turned to 30 minutes, 30 minutes turned to an hour. And I just kept texting and calling this guy, and it was silent. So the last message he sent was just that he was on his way, and that was it. Yeah, it was so embarrassing just standing around and calling and texting and just realizing as the hours went on that this guy had stood me up like for no reason that I could decipher, like till date. And I couldn't even tell you what he looked like, to be fair. I couldn't even tell you what he looked like, but he just cut everything off like nothing. There's no response, nothing. Like his phone rang actually, so he didn't even block me, but just nothing. He just didn't pick up my calls, he didn't reply to my messages. Yeah, it was one of the most embarrassing experiences of my life. I had to pretend to be window shopping and stuff. Yeah, I it was terrible. Yeah, and I mean, obviously, I left for home. After waiting for almost like 3 hours at that point, I just knew I was like, yeah, this guy is not coming. Um, and yeah, I think later, like, actually, when I thought about it, his energy, like I said, had shifted after I sent him my picture. So maybe I wasn't who he had envisioned in that dark car. But I would assume that he would tell me that and say, "Oh, okay, so this is not who I thought I was talking to." So let's just, yeah, I would assume that he would have done, but that was really immature on his part. But anyways, that was his loss. And so, yeah, that was how my date literally stood me up, like, literally stood me up in the middle of a mall, just looking like an idiot, just looking around and trying to, oh God. Yeah, it was a mess. Yeah, so that's the end of the story time, guys. Please like, comment, subscribe to my channel for more content. And yeah, take care. Bye.